you've ever wanted to walk into a room looking effortlessly classy yet completely professional, then this dress is for you. You're welcome to my channel. Today I'm showing you how to cut and sew this one-sided notched collar corporate dress. By the end of this video, you will also be able to recreate this look perfectly. This is the main fabric and it's 2 yards, while the supporting fabric is just half yard. Meanwhile, for this black fabric, on one side it looks like silk and on the other side it looks like sugar crepe. You can choose to use any side you like. And you need an interfacing, you need button, and you need a matching zipper. Then you fold your fabric into two like this. I have come down by 1 inch from the rough edge downward, as you can see. The first line right here is the bust point, while the second line, I just realized I didn't connect, is my client's under bust. So this is the under bust. The next line is waist. The next is the hip. Can you see? My client's bust point is 10.5. Her under bust is 14.7. So I simply added 2 inches to 14.7. That's how I achieved my client's waistline. Now, 8 inches away from the waist is the client's hip line. She's not tall. So the next line is my client's knee length, then the full length of the dress plus my preferred hemming allowance, which is 1.5. This is the knee length. I'm going to show you all over again. So our knee length is 38. Our preferred full length is 42, and then I added 1.5-inch hemming allowance. So I'll come right here to indicate our shoulder measurement and mark and give it 0.5-inch seam allowance. I will come down from there by 1 inch for shoulder slope. Then I'll come to this side to determine how wide I want the neckline to be. I'll be using 3 inches and I'll be using a depth of 3 inches as well. So I'm going to mark and connect with my ruler to form like a square shape. I will connect the neckline to the shoulder slope. I'll come over to the neckline to mark 0.5, then connect it. So this new line we are marking is for seam allowance. You know you are going to join your dress at the shoulder. Next, you are going to determine the depth of your client's armhole. So how do you get this? You divide the bust by 6 and add 1.5 to it. So I have 8 inches here. I want to be sure that is exactly the wideness I have here. I'm going to connect upward and then I'll place my client's bust measurements. Our bust divided by 4 plus 1 inch. This dress does not have lining, so there really is no point having excess allowance inside. I'll come over to the waist. Our waist is 32 divided by 4 plus 1 inch. I'm going to mark my answer and I'll connect to the bust like this. I will go over to the hip. Our hip is 44. 44 divided by 4 plus 1 inch gives me 12. I'm going to mark that and I'll connect to the waistline. Then I'll go over to the knee length. Now what I'll mark at the knee is whatever I have at the hip minus 1 inch. You know we marked 12 inches at the hip, so minus 1, that gives us 11. I'll mark 11 at the knee and connect. Come over to the hem of the dress. You can further take away 0.5 inch from what you have at the knee. Then you connect to the knee, slant the hemming allowance like this, then connect to the knee. Can you see? The next thing I'm going to do is to mark half of my client's bust pan, then add 0.5 inch to it. This is half of our bust pan. It's 7.5. This is half of 7.5. Then I'll add 0.5 inch to it. Starting from the hemming allowance of this dress, I'm going to mark this all the way to our bust point. All the way to our bust point. Half of our nipple to nipple, which is also known as bust pan, plus 0.5. Then I'll connect together. I will come up from the hip line by 2 inches, and then at the waistline I'll take 0.5 inch on both sides, and then I'll connect like this. From the bust point, I will come down by 1 inch and then I'll connect like this. This 1 inch is not universal. I've said it in a couple of our tutorials that it depends on the bust measurements of your client. I will drop the chart again for you in the description box so you can check. The next thing you will do is to come to the armhole region and determine the midpoint. Then you come inward by 0.5. This is also not universal. It also depends on the bust size of your client. I will also drop the chart for you so you know by how many inch you should come inward for your client. Going to place my ruler like this and give it a slight curve. Ensure there is no sharp edge at that region. Can you see? I'm just going to extend this line upward like this. Extend it by 0.5 inch. From this curve, we are going to extend it by 0.5 inch. We are going to split this place open and stitch back with 0.5 inch. So I'll be adding that 0.5 inch to the side. I will return this dart. We'll be trimming out this dart too. I'll be returning it here like this and I'll connect together. If you don't return it, you are going to experience shortage of fabric. And in a situation where we did not give the dress um excess sewing allowance, you may end up wasting the fabric altogether. So we are going to split this place open like I said, and we are going to stitch together with 0.5 inch. So it is that 0.5 inch that I'm trying to add to the side. Don't forget to slant the hemming allowance like this. If you can, I would recommend that you go over your markings one more time, then you trim out. Pay a close attention to how I'm cutting it. First, we trim off the excess fabric, and now we are splitting it open like this. Can you see? Can you see? And then you trim off the dart. Can you see what we have? So this is the front piece. This is the back piece. I did all of the marking we did on the front right on the back piece, and then I come to the waistline like this, and then I marked 0.5 inch at the waistline. I'm connecting to the hip line like this. I will also connect it upward like this. That 0.5 inch that I marked, I returned it. Why I'm doing this is so the zipper can rest on the butt of my client. Can you see this 0.5? I've returned it. So I'm going to connect it back to the hip line. Then I'll connect it back to the neckline. This is when we can now start placing our measurements. Come over to the shoulder and mark half of your client's shoulder measurement and add 0.5 inch sewing allowance to it. Indicate the wideness of the neckline. Since we use 3 inches for the front, we have to use 3 inches for the back as well. However, you can play around with the depth. I'll be using 2 inches for the depth of the neckline. So I'm just going to connect into a square shape like we did the other time before we later give it a curve. I've come upward by 0.5. I will come down by 1 inch shoulder slope first, connect to the neckline. Then I will give that shoulder slope 0.5 inch as well for sewing allowance. Then I'll connect to the sewing allowance that I indicated on the neckline. Can you see? Then I'll come down and indicate the armhole depth of my client. On the original line, not the new line, on the original line, I'm going to check if the 8 inches that I have up here is what I have on that armhole line. Then I'll connect upward. Now on the new line, can you see? I'm going to place my client's bust measurement. Our bust divided by 4 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. I'm just checking to ensure it's straight. I'm going to connect. Now on the new line at the waist region again, I'm going to place our waist measurement and then I'll connect together. If you put it on the old line, we are still going to trim off something at the waist, so it's not going to be enough. You are going to experience shortage of fabric. I've come to the hip to place our hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch. Then I'll come over to the knee measurement. The exact thing I placed on the front piece, I'm going to place it on the back piece. I will do the same for the hem of the dress and on the sewing allowance. Then I'll connect together. You don't want to have excess um seam allowance when you are making a ready to wear. You don't want to. It doesn't give a perfect fit, especially as there is no joining at the waist. Now I'm putting my client's bust pan. You will also notice that in putting the bust pan, I am marking the old line, not the new line. Can you see? The old line. I'm not marking this new one. I marked from the old one. Now, if you mark from the new line, let's say you mark half of your client's bust pan, and then you mark like this too, and then you come here to mark. By the time you connect together, it's going to be slanty. Can you see? It's slanty. So this is why you have to mark from the old line. So I'm just going to show you. Can you see this is straight? So the back is not going to be princess cut unlike the front. Nevertheless, I'm still going to come up from the hip line by 2 inches. I'm going to mark 0.5 on both sides of the waist, and then I'm going to connect like this. At the bust point, I'll just come down by 0.5 and I'll connect like this. We will be holding this. Don't forget to return this dart allowance 1 inch. So I'm going to connect it back like this. We won't be returning any 0.5 to the bust measurement, to the hip measurement like we did for the front, because we are not slitting this open. We are not slitting anything open. So this is how the back is going to be. Come to the armhole region, indicate the midpoint, and then place your ruler like this and give it a curve. You will notice the back armhole is different from the front armhole, right? So that's how it's done. That's one of the few differences between the front and the back piece. Slit open like this, trim the 0.5 inch off, the neckline, everything you need to trim, and then notch the hip, notch the waist, notch the bust point is going to make your work a lot easier. Come to this side and notch it as well. Notch your waist, notch your hip. I'm going to do the same for the front piece as well. Don't forget to notch your knee line. Everything we did on this side, we are going to flip like this and place it on this other side as well. Now, because you have notched, it will be quite easy for you to connect. You don't have to start measuring again. Where is the waistline? Where is the hip line? Yeah, so your notching is going to simply come to your rescue. Now, this is the bust point. I'm just going to connect. Come to the waistline, mark 1 inch. Come to the upper part, mark 1 inch, then connect like this. Please do it in this manner. You know we came in at the waist by 1 inch, right? By 0.5 inch the other time to snatch. So that place is already curvy, sort of. So when you want to mark yours, mark in this manner. And then mark 0.5, connect like this. Everything we have on the other side, you are going to do it like this. Half of your client's bust pan. Also notice that we didn't add 0.5 into the bust pan at the back because it's not needed. We are not slitting it open. So mark 0.5 inch on both sides of your waist. Come up at the hip region by 2 inches and at the bust point by 0.5 for the back. Then you connect in this manner. I'm just cutting facing for the back. You are quite conversant with this. I'm going to slit this open. I'll go over to my sewing machine to hold the dart on both sides of the fabric. This is the front piece. I'll go ahead and cut the facing too. Resist the urge to turn your neckline with bias. This is not the type of dress you turn the neckline with bias. This is an excellent way of perfecting your neckline. So you open up like this and then you place your facing like this. Go over to your sewing machine and sew round. When you are done sewing, you notch, flip over and top stitch. Look at the back piece. I've held the dart. Can you see? I've stitched the center. I decided where I want the slit to stop and then I reversed. I also decided where I want the zipper to stop and then I reversed. I'm going to still lose this place, but I will iron it first and I will overlock the edges. So I have done the front neckline. I'm not going to put the back facing yet. I'm going to have to put the zipper first. I have a tutorial where we did that extensively, so I won't be doing that in this tutorial. Instead, I can drop the links for you in the description box. Just know that you are doing the front facing first. You're not doing the back facing yet until you attach the zipper. The next thing to do is to place the side like this, pin at the upper part, You can also decide to pin all the way upward, and then I'll go and stitch with 0.5. So I have stitched. Now this is the collar. At the upper part I have 5 inches, and at the center I have extra 3 inches. Can you see? I ensure that it's more than the length of the dress. I will mark 3 inches, the exact wideness of the neckline we used. That's what I'm going to mark. I'll mark a depth of 3 inches as well. I'm going to get my ruler to make a square shape. Remember my client's under bust is 14.7, right? So this is 14.7. 1 inch away from it is this line you are seeing, which is where I want the break point to be. 1 inch away from my client's under bust. So from that region, I will be marking 1 inch all the way. I will come to this region and determine how wide I want the lapel to be. You can use 2, you can use 2.5, but I will be using 2. I don't like it when my lapel is excessively wide. So I'll be using 2, and then I'll connect it to the break point. I'll come over to this region and connect like this as well. I'm going to extend this line upward. I can just mark 4 inches. I'll come in here by 0.5 and I'll connect like this. I will determine the wideness of the collar. So from this new line, from this line, I'm marking 3 inches. Can you see? If you place it like this, you will have 3.5. So I'm going to slant it up a little. Come in here by 1 inch, come up by 1 inch, and connect like this. I'm going to place my ruler like this, and I'm going to give it just a slight curve. Now I'm going to add 0.5 inch sewing allowance. Extend the line like this. Extend the 0.5 inch downward. At this point, you can just indicate the length of your dress and then you stop there. You are going to give the other side 0.5 inch sewing allowance as well. And you are going to mark all the way up. Come right here, mark 0.5, come in by 0.5 and connect like this. And then you pin. From the neckline, I'm going to mark 4 inches upward. Should I make it 4.5? Okay, it's better to have excess than to experience shortage. You know, from the starting point, we came down by 3 inches, right? Which is the depth of the neckline. So it is that depth of the neckline, from the depth of the neckline, that we are marking upward. Now, if I mark the same inch right here, it's going to be slanty. So I'm just going to extend my 4 inches straight like this. Come right here and trim off the excess. Come here, trim off the excess as well. I think you will need to observe more at this point, so I'm just going to leave you to it. I'm going to trim this off. If you've been following closely, you would notice that I haven't added a seam allowance to the upper collar. That's what I'm about to do right now. I'm just going to pin it down on a fresh fabric like this, and I'm going to give a seam allowance of 0.5 to all the sides of the upper collar. So this is what I have. I Upon drafting it, it dawned on me that the upper collar was supposed to be from the main fabric, so I had to go over the process again. And this is what I have. I have gone ahead to iron interfacing on it. Will I recommend a paper stay? No, no. I will strongly recommend a stay. I was thinking it would be too thick, but it ended up not really being a good idea. So you are going to stitch and stop at this pointy area, and then from that pointy area you mark 2 inches like this and give the region a notch. Don't forget to stitch and stop at this pointy region. Stitch like this and stop at the notch on this side. Can you see? I stitched and then I stopped here, and then I stopped at that notch region. I'm just going to trim off the little excess that I have in here. This is just to avoid unnecessary bulkiness. Come over to the black fabric and stitch like this with 0.5. Stitch with 0.5 and then all the way. Stop at any region of your choice. Leave a little spacing for you to turn over when you are done stitching. Mind you, this black piece of fabric is the same length with the dress plus 0.5 inch. So you are going to turn over from here, but before then I'm going to put this one. Can you see? It's going to be like this. So just exactly the way it is, you're just going to turn it upside down. Exactly the way it is, you're going to flip it like this and you're going to tuck it in. Secure with your pin and stitch with 0.5 inch. When you are done, you flip over from here. So I've done that and this is what I have. I haven't pressed it yet, so it's not well laid. I kind of feel the ash color is wide, so I would like to reduce it by 0.5. It's totally left to you. You can choose to reduce or not, but I think it will be finer when reduced. So I'm just going to flip to the wrong side. I'll mark 0.5 inch here. At the upper part, I'm going to mark 0.5 as well, and I'm going to connect like this. I didn't mark the upper part, I just gauged it. I'm going to connect. I won't trim off yet. I'm going to stitch directly on top of this new marking. Can you see? I think it's finer this way. And then this is what we have. This is the front piece. Can you see? Going to flip like this. We are going to place our collar. This is the back piece. Can you see? Now place your collar like this. You should start from the hem of the dress. You should start from the M. So the dress has 1.5-inch hemming allowance, so you are going to raise it up from the hemming, and then you are going to secure with pin. So the shoulder has a 0.5-inch sewing allowance, so you are going to start your measuring like this. Indicate 1 inch away from the under bust measurement. Remember I said I wanted the break point to be 1 inch away from the under bust, right? So I just indicated that you are going to twist this right there. Our under bust is 14.7, so at exactly 15.7 I'm going to twist the collar like this, and I'm going to pin. Mind you, the part where you pin is the part you stitch. You are going to stitch it together with the front piece. We have a little excess here, we are going to trim it off, and then you go ahead and stitch down like this, while the other end is going to be open, the other side will be open. It's only the part that has pin that you are going to stitch together with the front piece. To finish up your dress, you are going to place the back on the front piece like this, and you are going to place your client's body measurement on both sides of the dress. Everything I'm going to do from here are things you are quite familiar with already, like folding the hem of your dress, inserting the zipper, inserting the sleeve. They are things we've done repeatedly on this channel. With this, we've come to the end of this tutorial. If you follow the due process, you should have something like this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also, leave me comments in the comment section. Let me know your experience watching this tutorial till I come your way in my next one. Bye guys.